Energy is transferable. We want to just, first of all, get that truth out there. This is something that we aren't taught about energy because it's not tangible. It's not anything that we can see, but it's what we're comprised of. It's what this whole world, this whole universe is comprised of, energy. And it is transferable. And what I mean by that is that we can feel the energy of whatever environment we walk into. If you guys remember, I think it was the late 90s. Denzel Washington had a movie called Fallen. Some of you guys may remember that. And as people walked around, it was a sci-fi flick, but the premise of it was that you could transfer like this not so good negative energy from person to person by touch, and that's a little far-fetched, but there's some truth to that. Again, as a psychologist, I know that energy plays a large part in our mood state as well. It plays a large part in our mood state. So people, what do I mean by people? You have to understand that there are people out here, and many people have heard this before, who may be energy vampires, meaning they're individuals who go around to suck the life out of you because maybe their mood state and their energy level is so low that the only way that they can just really deal day to day is by putting that negative energy on other people, and then you become the victim of it. I have a story to share because, again, as I said, energy is always felt and it's transferable. Years ago, I was just getting started as a psychologist. Early on in my career, I was in my late 20s at the time, and I had a client I'd been seeing for over a year at that time, and it was any tools I tried to help her out or to, help her mood stay elevate. She was very resistant, and she just wanted to focus on the negativity of everything in her life. And so every session, it would be a rumination of what's wrong and who's done her wrong and her past. And it would be over and over. And every time I would attempt to try to counteract that or inject what we can do to help her mood state, she was very resistant toward that early on in my career. And it just became so hard to see her that it was like every time she left, it was a heavy weight left on me. And to the contrary, you can have patients who come in, and I see Glendora Devine from Atlanta just tuned in, and I know she sees patients in her office all the time. You can have some patients come in, see, and their energy level is so high that you actually feel good when someone leaves. And that's what you want to really be able to assess for yourself. How do you feel in the presence of a person and outside of the presence of the person? But this particular patient, it was so heavy all the time that I would feel just such a heavy weight on me every time she entered the room. And it was one point, only time this has ever happened in my 17 years of practice, that I just checked out. I mean, I literally fell asleep on this patient, and all I heard was, oh my gosh, he's falling asleep on me. And I remember waking up and saying, apologizing, blaming it on the new baby that I had. But it's a story I tell, and I find it funny now, but I really attribute that to just the energy that was really in that room, the heavy energy, and just sucking all the life. So some of you people have people in your lives every single day who are doing that to you. They are sucking the life out of you. They are, leaving you, they'll call you on the phone, dump their burdens on you, and now you're carrying around this heavy weight. So even in my book, Bloom, Energy Vampires, that's what Stephen Hull says, definitely. So my book, Bloom, 7 Steps to Personal Transformation, one of the activities, and hopefully you guys can see this, that I have the readers do, is make a list of people in your life, the people you most commonly deal with. And then you circle if either their vibrational energy, meaning their energy with them matches yours or differs from yours. So if it matches, you circle that. If it differs from yours, it circles that. And then you also have to circle in the last column here what you have to do for your energies to match. Because any and everybody you come into contact with on a daily basis, you either have to elevate yourself to meet their energy level, which is a good thing, because sometimes we can be down, and it's great to have people in our presence that can force us to bring our energy level up. Or you have to lower your vibration to match that person. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. But in order for any two people to have some type of harmonious relationship, their energies have to mark. I'm getting the co-workers, Odell. You bring that good point up. But their energies have to match. And so you have to decide the people in your life. Are these people who, you guys are meeting each other, which is great as far as your energy level goes, or you're finding yourself have to lower your vibrational level, which can be detrimental to any type of goals or aspirations that you set for yourself this year. Because again, this is all about the next level, year 2016, and to go to that next level, your energy has to be right. You have to be in a vital state of mind, and vitality is so important for us to just make grand steps and next steps in our life and in our goals and things of that sort. So you also want to consider the source. There's so much I can talk about with people that what I'm going to do throughout the week is probably do other Periscope broadcasts that will really just focus on some of the specifics, because I had a client not too long ago tell me that she's noticed she's become the brunt of jokes around her group of friends. And she says that she finds that if they can make her the brunt of jokes when they get together, either, insult her, which is supposed to be in jest or fun, but that's a passive aggressive way. Someone mentioned in the Facebook group In Full Bloom with Dr. Rose last night that one of the things that drain their energy is passive aggressive people or in their lives, and some of you guys are probably familiar with that. Now, these are individuals who won't come out and just blatantly be negative towards you or insult you, but there are people who will passive aggressively say things to you meant to hurt you, but cover it up as something nice. Now, Steve asks, how can you detach yourself from energy drainers? And I'm going to get to that in a moment. Let me go to the next person. Like I said, I want to really hit more on people. So join me. If you're not following me, follow me, because this week I want to talk specifically about those people, because I'm hearing so many people, and I've experienced it in my life as well, who talk about being around folks who are, just not nice to them. Not nice to them. And a lot of times people who say they're friends are really passive aggressive individuals who want to inject in you the same sense of uncertainty or doubt or low self-esteem that they live their daily lives with. And you have to learn, as Steve asks, to detach yourself from that. Another common energy drainer are thoughts. Thinking. Pathological thinking has become the public health crisis, in my opinion, of the 21st century. Thought, and I share this again in my book, thoughts, the ideal of thinking was supposed to be just something that we do for strategy or to plan. But most of us are spending the majority of time in our day thinking unnecessarily. When I used to lecture at the college, I would lecture when I was lecturing on a specific chapter about thought and thinking. And I would stop in the middle of my lecture just abruptly and tell everyone, write down what you're thinking about right now. And people, even the good students, would find that a lot of times they weren't focused in on what I was saying, or their mind was thinking about stuff that had no relevance to the present moment. So we have to learn how just detrimental pathological thinking, and most of that pathological thinking isn't affirmative. It's usually negative, the what ifs and things of that sort, which cause anxiety. That was listed for a lot of you people last night who indicated what were your energy drainers. Anxiety was there, overthinking was there, all of that. So it's so important for you to understand how to live in the moment, in the present moment. My YouTube channel, you can find a video that's actually entitled Living in the Now, and I talk about pathological thinking. It's a quick under 3-minute video that you should watch that really talks about how to really turn those thoughts off, because thoughts create anger, they create resentment, they create depression, they create anxiety, they create frustration. Thinking, again, is supposed to be for strategy and planning. If you find yourself even on the commute to work today or throughout the day, just thinking about something that is not constructive, that's not about planning or strategy, you need to stop yourself right then and there. And then I'll give you some strategies in a moment how to combat that. And the last common energy drainer is environment. Environment is a huge thing for individuals. Workplace. So many, their studies show that the majority of people actually hate their job. So you can imagine if you're spending 8+ hours a day in an environment, Lenita says, OMG, yes, in an environment that you that doesn't resonate with you on an energetic level. Imagine what's that doing to your body. You know, we're made up of cells, like I said, and it's energy. This whole body is nothing but energy and chemicals, and it's an energetic process. And so every time you enter a situation, encounter a person, or have thoughts that are contrary to your well-being, you are damaging your cells. So a lot of the illness, you know, 100 years ago, and Steve says my environment doesn't excite you. You're like most people, Steve. But 100 years ago, people died of contagious disease, like the bubonic plague, you know, of things that were, you can catch that was contagious. In this day and time, we've combated most of that. You know, we've gotten vaccines, we got medical advances that have helped take care of that. But the majority of people now, the public health crises are diseases that are preventable. And they're chronic diseases, and by definition, chronic means they take time to develop. And we know a lot of that is because of the mind-body connection. So many people unhappy in environments, in situations, surrounded around people that are contrary to their well-being. And workplace can be one of those things. Now, one of the things that makes the workplace a lot more enjoyable, and this is a way to kind of combat that environment you don't like, is to have a plan. Like, I can remember we've all worked jobs we didn't like. And for years while I was getting my graduate degrees and my doctoral degree, I worked jobs that I did not really care for. But I had a vision in sight. I had an end game in sight. I knew that this was a place that I was not going to be forever. And when you have just a higher, you know, you have a end game in sight, or you say, you know, this is not going to be where I am forever, it makes that environment so much more bearable. Plan in progress, as R. Brooks says, and you're true. Most of the people who complain most about their workplace are people who don't have a plan to get out of there. And then that's something, you know, they don't have a plan to get out of there, so they have decided their way of dealing with it is to complain to you, again, to take that energy and frustration off of themselves and put it on you so they can go back to their cubicle feeling lighter, and now you feel heavy. So again, if you are not happy with your work environment, have an end game in sight, as Divine says from Atlanta there. End game in sight. Start figuring out what your passion is, what your desire is, and start working on a plan to get out of that environment. Another environment that can be detrimental is your home environment. Clutter. You know, if you find yourself in an environment that is full of clutter, or there's no organization, that can create a lot of just that can be a huge energy drainer as well. So I shared last week how right before the new year, I just impromptu on a whim spent probably about 5 hours decluttering my closet, decluttering drawers, and it's amazing. I felt a different energy in the room, a different energy in the house from just doing something as simple as that, because again, everything is energy. So if you are surrounded around clutter, you're going to your body is going to feel the weight of that clutter. So really, as far as environment goes, clearing out things that are not conducive to what you want to feel energetically wise. So people, thoughts, and environment, common energy drainers. Now, how do you combat that, or what are some energy enhancers that can help you combat a lot of these energy drainers? Some of these are the same. So some energy enhancers, believe it or not, can be people. But find people who are positive. Find people who are encouraging. You know, find people who, when you finish talking to them, you feel inspired. You feel better. Not because you've dumped on them. No. Not because you've dumped on them, but somebody whose vibration matches yours, and you just feel like more inspired and motivated when you leave that person. Other energy enhancers, movement, guys, exercise. People hate to hear that, but I'm going to be honest. Nobody's asking you to go out there, run a marathon or do anything that's too strenuous, but even a walk. Researchers have shown that if you get up and just move around for 10 minutes, it has a huge effect on your energetic level. Most of us, I see a lot of hearts going up for that. So most of us spent the last holiday, we're just getting out of the holiday season, and most of us kind of overate, overindulge, a little lazy, myself included. And I know on New Year's Eve, I was just feeling so drained, had gone to dinner, had a great dinner, but kind of, like you said, overindulged, not doing much, kind of being a little lazy. And I decided It was like 11 p.m. and some of you guys caught me on Periscope doing that because I Periscope while I was doing it. I said, I have to get up if I want to bring in the new year with a different energy. Let me get up and move. And I went down and got on the treadmill for about 25 minutes as I talked to you guys. And I tell you, it totally changed just the energy in my body. I went from feeling slumped with, to just having a sense of more energy, which raises your vibration, And as I've talked about before, when you're at a higher vibration, we attract what we are. So when our energies are at a higher vibration, we can attract higher things that match that energy. When our energy is at a low vibration, we attract situations, circumstances that match that as well. So the stopping of the pathological thinking, go to my YouTube channel, look at the video that talks about living in the now for that. So get out of your own way with that thinking. Stillness, meditation, and rest. So it's a paradox because I know I just said movement helps, but stillness also helps, especially with the thinking, because and really tuning into your emotions and the emotions that you want to feel. Hobbies are great. How many of you guys have hobbies out there that you engage in? If you don't, it's time to find a hobby, whatever that hobby may be. But what hobbies do, and I'll tell you this, it takes you out of your mind. It shuts off that pathological thinking because usually you are so in tune to whatever you're doing, being it cooking, being it painting, being, if it's exercising, whatever that hobby may be. A lot of my clients now are getting into adult coloring books. And that's new, but a lot of research shows how beneficial that is. Ballroom, Angel Marie says, I just took a ballroom class with my husband last month and it was so much fun. But you're not doing, when you're at ballrooming, when you're exercising, when you're coloring, when you're cooking, when you're engaged in any of your hobbies, you're not in your head. You are really just in tune with that. And it really brings you at a higher level vibration. I see those hearts coming. Coloring is peaceful. I agree with you as well. And tapping into your feel-good emotions. Again, chapter 3 in Bloom, and you can still download this on Amazon for $1.99 for your Kindle, okay? $1.99, but chapter 3 talks about making sense of your senses. So tapping into feel-good emotions, because what I've discovered over the years is not that end state, it's not that thing we want, it's the emotions we believe the thing is going to bring us that we want. So if you want to be happy, finding out or figuring out what can make me happy today, that's what's going to make a huge difference in your life. Not, okay, I'm only going to be happy because as I talked about that mentality, it never comes. You have a mentality of mentality, and that's not a good mentality to have. But finding out how you can tap into whatever emotion you seek right here in the moment. So when I get off this Periscope broadcast and I say, okay, I want to feel happy, I'll decide what can I do in that moment to make me feel happy. Play with the dog. Or, listen to some feel-good music. I charge you guys with the task of coming up with your 2016 music playlist. And this was going to be your motivation, inspiration movement. So tapping into feel-good emotions. And then lastly, visualization. Sometimes when it just feels so just hard and things just feel overwhelming, close your eyes and visualize where you want to see yourself, how you want to see yourself. Visualize, it's visualization is free. But what research shows is that the brain doesn't know the difference from what's real and what's not real. So when you guys are overthinking and you're thinking about the argument or what's going to happen or the what ifs and the negative things, your body feels like it's happening. And so you go into that stress mode, that fight or flight mode. You can be sitting at your desk and you're in fight and flight mode. And so all this anxiety is being created here. You're taxing your system. You're making yourself more susceptible to heart disease, to hypertension, to all of those things that we don't want to have. So start really managing those thoughts. And when you find yourself overthinking about things that are contrary to what you want, close your eyes for a few moments and visualize what it is you do want. Because when you visualize yourself on maybe, let's say, a beach in 85-degree weather, with the sun shining down on you, you can't help but to feel good. And your body feels good. Even though you're in a cubicle in Michigan and it's 20 degrees outside, your body is responding to the visualization you're providing it with. And so that's a great way to raise your energy level up as well. So I want to encourage you guys to follow the energy. Follow the energy. You know, you guys are really in more control than you think you are of wherever you are energetically at any point of the day. So it's your job and responsibility to be the pioneer of this new path you want in life. Practice discernment. So key. Go through that list and figure out who in your life is someone that matches or takes you there, and who in your life are people who take you there. And by all costs, learn to just disconnect from those people. Maybe it's physically disconnecting or emotionally, because some of these people you can't physically disconnect from. And like I said, I'm going to talk more about this throughout the week, so join me in some future Periscope casts about how you can really, in the presence of people that you can't get away from, just learn to protect yourself against that as well. And a lot of it, again, goes to considering the source. People who want to inject negativity on you are people who are unhappy in their own life, and everybody wants to validate whatever emotional set point they're in. So when you're unhappy, you want to prove you have every reason to be unhappy, and you want everybody else to be unhappy too. As I said before, misery loves company. Misery loves company, but you don't have to be in its presence. You don't have to be in its presence. And so we want to talk more this week, which I will, because this is a big thing for a lot of people. So again, the 3 things that you want to really key into this week is the people, the environments, and the thoughts that are contrary to your energy and the vitality that you need to go to that next level. And I shared just different things you can do and different techniques that you can implement, be it people who are energy enhancers, exercise, visualization, hobbies, stillness, meditation, rest, all of those good things, movement, that can really help enhance your energy. So hopefully this helps, guys. Again, thanks everyone for joining me in 2015 and for starting out this new year with me today. I still have a few spots left for the New Year Next Level You small group coaching. So, hi, Nikki from Las Vegas. You have a good day, too. So, still a few spots left for that. Go to my website, and you can find out more information about the New Year Next Level You coaching at drrosemoulton.com. Looking forward to just spending the next 51 weeks with you guys this year. Get out there, have a great day, and live your life in full bloom. Bye-bye.